All right, so I've been thinking about this video here for a little while. I've been listening to a lot of, it's been actually been probably at least a couple years, probably 2-3 years now. I've been listening to, it's probably been like 4 or 5, but I say at least 2 or 3 years I've been listening to a lot of Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson. Just discovered Jimmy Corsetti and Ben Kerkwyk, I think is how you say his name. I only ever people call him Ben. I haven't heard his last name said too many times, so I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. But anyhow, I've been watching a lot of these videos, and it's fucking amazing. If anybody's never seen these things, any of their videos, I highly recommend checking them out. I'm pretty sure all of them have been on Rogan, so I'm outside kind of wandering around. It's pretty dark out here, and just making sure I'm just alone out here and ain't nobody else out here. I'm pretty sure they've all been on Rogan, and they all are discussing things like potential lost ancient civilization, and it is fucking extremely intriguing. I remember the first time I started listening to anything to do with that whole subject, I didn't know who any of them were. I had picked up I had picked up on Rogan several years ago. I didn't even know he was doing podcasts until probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. And I started running through all of them. I'm sorry, not all of them. All the ones that I wanted to hear. All the ones that, like people I knew of, and subjects and so forth that I wanted to listen to. And eventually I ended up running out of stuff. There's still tons of people I haven't listened to, but I'm not really interested in everybody. Who the fuck is that down there? We're in an empty fucking parking lot. This is why, it's not headlights, but that car right there does not belong here. That's why. Let me see, I don't see anybody else. That's a gym for the school. Those are buses that belong to the school, so I don't know who the fuck that is. So that's why I gotta watch my surroundings bigger. But anyhow, so I listened to pretty much everybody I want to listen to. And then so I was just kind of skimming through and trying to find other people that caught my interest. And the very first video on this subject I had ever listened to was a solo Randall Carlson one. And I was listening at break time, as I just walk laps in the shop at break time instead of eating lunch. And so I threw on the Carlson one, and I got about a half hour in. I don't remember which one it was. It was an older episode. Got about a half hour in, and my mind wasn't really in it. I was kind of half in and half out, thinking about other stuff going on and whatever. I don't even know what the fuck it was, but just thinking about other stuff too. Wasn't really listening that much. Didn't even know what the topic was about. So I ended up turning it off. I was like, nah, it's not really catching my interest. I turned it off and found something else to listen to for the time being. And then, I don't know, over the next couple months, I ended up going back. I was like, let me just go double check that one out again. So I started over from the beginning, started listening. By the end of that episode, a couple hours in or 3 hours in, I was fucking blown away, dude. I could not fucking believe that not only the topic, but how much fucking overwhelming evidence they have for their theories. And I only call them theories just because, I don't know, they call them theories. But the things that they talk about are so fucking overwhelmingly, what's the right word here? Compelling and convincing that, dude, it makes insanely more sense than anything I've ever been told about history growing up. Even as a kid, I was like, ramps to move the fucking stones to build the pyramids? But I never really looked much more into it. I just kind of was like, all right, whatever. I never thought much else about it. So, anyways, they cover an insane amount of stuff. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm solely convinced. I mean, I am completely convinced. I mean, some of the details, they might have wrong, or some of the, but the overall gist that between 10 and 12,000 years ago, there was seemingly at least a major catastrophe, like a world catastrophe, and probably a series of them, and realizing that it's very possible that our world, the entire at least a good fucking part of the planet, a major part of the planet, maybe not the southern hemisphere, but at least the northern hemisphere, went through fucking hell. And for a very long time. And I'd imagine if we went back into a deep freeze or a very cold period of time, that the southern hemisphere would have been affected by that too. But anyways, I don't want to get into too much of the details here. I don't want to butcher their work, and I highly recommend anybody listen to all of those people. Go look at their videos, and just like they always say, just listen to what they got to say and come to your own conclusions. I don't know how long humans have been here. There's claims that we've been here for 300,000 years, maybe more. And, because I'm a very strong believer in God, but I'm not just a believer. Like, I've known God my entire life. The Holy Spirit has been talking to me since before I even knew who God was, since I was a little kid. So, there's like this part of me that wants to just automatically believe that I guess, I don't know, I've never been a big church goer, and I'm not proud of that. I have been listening to Michael Todd quite a bit over the last couple years. He is fucking amazing. And there's a lot of hate about him on there too, but you got to realize that a lot of people online, on YouTube and whatever else, that have a whole lot of hate out there about them, that should spark people's interest in why there's so much hate. Not because those people that are hating are right, but it's because they're trying to suppress something. And anyhow, so there's part of me that I guess I've heard that it seems as though, according to the Bible, that people have been around for, I don't know, maybe between 4,000 and 6,000 years. But, and that may be true as far as what the Bible says. But, and I'm not, please don't misunderstand me. I am not knocking the Bible. It is probably the most important book that mankind has ever had. But what I will say is, knowing God my whole life, knowing the Holy Spirit my whole life, I do know one thing, very much so, that God doesn't always tell me everything. He tells me a lot. He tells me quite a bit. Holy Spirit talks to me regularly, on a daily basis. The Holy Spirit's saying something to me. And what I have learned through 40 years or more of knowing God, knowing the Holy Spirit, is that He does not always tell me everything. There's, in fact, quite a bit that He does not tell me. So what that says to me is that the Bible may very well just not have all the information in there. God may have decided to keep things from us, not in a negative kind of way, but just he's just decided not to tell us the whole story. For what reasons, I'm not sure. But what the hell? I got time to my shoe here. What that says to me, though, is that we could have been here for a very long time, even though the Bible doesn't say so. Oh, that's a moon above me, by the way. And Jupiter, I can't really see it because it's cloudy out. Unfortunately, it's been cloudy for like 4 or 5 days. Oh, it's right there. That's Jupiter. And of course the moon. What that says to me, though, is that it's very possible that what was that? Is that we don't know the whole story. Sorry. I'm out here watching the planets and the stars and the moon every night and every morning, like early morning, because I get up at like between 2 and well, now it's between like 2 and 4. Getting Ripley to my mom's house. She don't want to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, at 4:30 in the morning. So I got to get her there a little later. So I'll be getting up a little bit later. But either way, I'm always up on the weekends or the weekdays before the sun's up. Usually a couple hours before it's up. Even with the time change, I'm still up at least probably 2 hours before the sun comes up. And I'm always watching the planets. I actually just figured out how far, like I've been watching, all the planets, all the 5 planets you can see with the naked eye. Mercury's hard for me to spot because the horizon, it doesn't come up very high above the horizon and the tree line, at least where I'm at. It's kind of hard to see. But the other 4, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, I'm watching all the time. And I take pictures every single fucking morning, every night. I'm always taking pictures. Sorry, it's a little off topic, but I'm always taking pictures. So I actually went back 4 years and found my pictures of, because I take pictures of Orion too, because I try to find markers to where I can see, like I already know how much the moon moves in the sky every single day. Within a 24-hour period, I already can tell you that it's about, let me see if I can do it. It moves about roughly, give or take a little bit, about that much in the sky in that direction. That is east, pretty much every day. They cross their sky, but they rise in east and set in the west, but they're moving east, and that's about how far it moves. So I started wondering about Jupiter. So I went back 4 years ago, found my pictures of Orion and of Jupiter, because Jupiter was in the summertime side of the sun for a while, and it's got a 17-year orbit, roughly. Saturn's got about a 29-year orbit. So I've been watching, and I watched for 3 years. I watched Jupiter catch up to Saturn, and then for 4 years now, well, it'll be 4 years on the 21st of December this year, 2024. I've been watching it for 7 years, catch up to, pass Saturn, and then now I can't even fit them in the same frame on my camera. I think this is the first year I'm not able to get them in the same frame. Last year I was like just able to. Is that my outdoor cat wandering off again? We got a cat outdoors we've been taking care of. That fucking better not be her. Why? Trying to get her to sleep up on our porch because it's getting cold out. That's whatever that is. It's dark colored though. It might be another different cat. Shit. Can't tell if that's our cat or not. No, that's a darker cat. Or maybe it's not a cat. I don't know. Sorry, I gotta figure this out. Cat. Anyway. What the fuck? That better not be her. That better not be her wandering off, dude. She finally, after taking care of this cat, feeding her twice a day for 4 months, she finally, I caught her up on the porch. I put some boxes up for her to sleep behind, and to get her out of the wind, out of the rain, out of the cold. Well, not necessarily out of the cold, but out of the wind and the rain. Finally saw her up there lately. It's been a couple of times now. So I'm glad for that. Anyways, I look back and I can see how far Jupiter's moved in the last 4 years. Last 3 years. First, I couldn't fit it in the same frame as Orion, and then it was in the same frame but further away. Then it was closer. Now this year it's like above Orion. So I was wondering, I literally take pictures almost every night and almost every morning that it's clear out, which is why, seriously, if I go more than 3 or 4 days without being able to see the sky and in the nighttime hours, I literally start feeling anxiety over it because I fucking love looking at this shit. And it's hard to keep track of things when there's clouds out. So, anyways, I took some pictures from mid-August, and I lined up what would be Orion's, the left star in Orion's belt, which from our perspective is the one on the right. And then his left shoulder, which from our perspective is on the right. And I lined it up with my phone, and I took my stylus and edited the picture where I could draw, and I put a ruler there, and I drew a straight line between those two stars and kept it going. And Jupiter was on the right side of the line. Well, I did the same thing from pictures just, a week ago or so, and did it again, and it has moved as far past that line as it was away from it. So, like, say if it was this far away from the line, it was that far past the line now. So I've actually able to see, just in my own observations, how far Jupiter's moved in the last 3 months. It's pretty fucking tight. But anyways, now back to my main topic here. A lot of these guys, and Rogan too, man, I'd really like to sit down and have a fucking long conversation with all of these people. I mean, I'm pretty much just a fucking nobody. Nobody knows who I am other than I do have about 850 people who have subscribed to my channel, and to those people who have, I thank you very much, and I appreciate it greatly. I'm surprised I got anybody, to be honest with you. I just have all kind of random shit on my channel. But anyhow, hearing these guys talking about this stuff, for one, I got a lot of questions that I'd like to ask that I don't hear a lot of interviewers asking, and like about the ancient civilization stuff and catastrophe stuff. Also, a lot of these guys, they're talking about, like Hancock talks about, well, you know, he'll talk about why it is that people always ask him why he thinks that he's had so much hostility from archaeologists and so forth. And honestly, dude, I was just Googling, or I put Graham Hancock in the search bar on YouTube, and I see videos of people, like, just random people like myself, just hating on the guy. How fucking dumb are people, man? Like, one guy had a short, and it was like, how ancient apocalypse lies to you. Like, he's not fucking lying. He's telling you his theories about things and what he thinks, based on all his research, what he's discovered. And you got some fucking nobody like me who's just sitting there just talking shit with no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And it's like, dude, he's just offering another point, another perspective, another thing. Like, how anybody can hear any of this and at least not find it compelling blows my fucking mind. And that's just, you know, your average person. I mean, now the archaeologists, I know why the archaeologists are hating on him so much. I already know. It's because the people running the world, aka the Bilderbergs of the world, which is just how I loosely refer to them. They have other names, you know, people say BlackRock and other fucking group names. But ultimately it boils down to the Bilderbergs. They've been meeting in private since 1954. Behind closed doors, no one in or out to take over a hotel, and I think they said that it was 4 years in a row. They'd be like in Europe or somewhere, probably Europe, and then like every fifth year they come to America. I'd imagine that changes constantly, and you probably never have any idea of where they're going to be ahead of time. Well, I don't know. Some people do, because I've seen Alex Jones and some people. And like stuff, protests, and even the news. I was surprised that the news was out there reporting about their get-together, because they own the fucking news. So I'm surprised they were even allowed to touch on that subject, but whoever did probably got fired, or worse. But anyways, the Bilderbergs are there's anywhere from like 100 to 250 members on any given year. And they've been meeting every year since 1954, which is about 8 years after the World War II ended. And all the richest, most powerful so-called elites in the world will meet every year, and they fucking plan a world agenda. And this group of people, they have been doing all kinds of shit, man. They have been steering the world at least for 70 years now. I can't remember if this would be 71 years or 70 years. Somewhere right about that. No, sorry, it's probably about 67, 68, maybe 69 years. No, maybe 70. Duh. 54, 24. Okay, yeah, so 70 years now. This group of people includes pretty much all the presidents and all the presidential candidates. I mean, shit, probably, at least back to Reagan, but probably further than that. I'll say this, at least since 2000, anybody you vote for is pretty much a Bilderberg member. Now, it does seem as though Trump is not, but I'm not naive enough to think that they wouldn't just put on a big show to distract everybody, because there's always something. What I call it the national distraction. All the time, there's always something going on that is some kind of big distraction. You know, North Korea. The elections. Every time there's an election, it's a big distraction. Then you had with Trump before, you had the collusion, and you had the all these big buzzwords, Then you had COVID, and now you got another election that just happened. But there's always something, It was Russia and Ukraine, and now it's Israel and Palestine. There's always something distracting people. And I think because of this, that's how they're able to operate unseen, or one of the ways. And they do shit all over the world. So here's a really good example of the things that they do. When I was younger, in the 80s, 90s, we talked about how one day the government would probably round us all up and force us to put chips in our brains. And that way they could track our thoughts, our movements, our location, everything we're doing, all of it. Well, not only do they not have to actually be the bad guy, look like the bad guys and do that, instead, they've made trillions of fucking dollars off of it by us buying our own tracking devices. I'm using my tracking device to film this fucking video. And, when we started with cell phones, once they put cameras on them, that was no accident. That was not, technology for the user. That was technology for them. And it's funny because when you first got cell phones, that most of the time, when you set it, you only had one camera. It was on the back. And pretty much any time you set it down, which is what everybody was doing, they were setting the back of it down so you could see the screens light up if anybody got a hold of them or any notifications came through. They realized that, and so they're like, oh, all right, well, let's put a camera on both sides, and we'll market it as a selfie cam. That way, everybody's going to love it and want to go out and get one. And now every phone has cameras on both sides. They have microphones. And if you think for 1 minute that they're not constantly listening and watching, you're out of your mind. Now, when I say listening and watching, I don't really mean like they're probably not paying any attention to me right now. But what I do believe, if we could buy storage databases up to 1 terabyte, or there's probably something even bigger than that we could buy now. It probably costs a lot of money at this point. But if we could buy shit like that, you really think that they don't have buildings with just massive storage databases in them that's pretty much just constantly recording every fucking thing that your phone sees and hears 24 hours a day, every day, always? If you honestly think shit like that ain't going on, you're crazy. So, and not only that, but recording everything you're doing, everywhere you go, everything you fucking do. Now, they just store that shit up, and I guess that way, so if they should ever need anything on anyone in particular, they can go back and just, discredit you, or at this point, they can just make shit up anyways. They could just make videos, and they can literally make videos of people that never even happened and just make it look real to discredit people. They can do whatever the fuck they want, really. But the point is, they're listening and they're watching constantly. They might not be actively listening and watching you, but, as long as you're not making any waves, they don't really have any reason to do so. And, God, I just can't help but think that there might, this may not be the case, but I just can't help but think that they might not have some kind of, small explosive built into all these fucking phones. What's that little light on my face? You see that? Got a sniper around. Got a fucking laser on me. Who knows, man? You never know. Maybe they are listening already. But, anyhow. Well, if I die, you'll know I'm right. But that means this will never get uploaded. So, anyhow. But yeah, so this group of people, they do whatever they want. The, what's his name? The Epstein list? I'm willing to bet you're never going to see that shit. Because I have a feeling that a lot of these so-called elites are on that fucking list, and they have enough money and power to make sure that it's never seen. Just watch. Even with Trump being in office, even if he's not one of them, I don't think anyone's ever going to know. Which is fucking disgusting, man. But I'm willing to bet no one will ever know. And, I mean, the dude fucking died in prison. He hung himself. Sure he did. Sure he fucking did. He hung himself with the help of a few people. Or, who knows, maybe I don't know if this guy has any family or whatever, but maybe they threatened people if he didn't hang himself or something. But I have a feeling he was, they probably said, oh, don't worry, we'll get you out of there, and then just fucking hung his ass. Or, to be honest with you, for all I fucking know, they might have got him out. They might have hung somebody else and fucking made it look like him, and he might be out there free right now. You never know, man, because in the way this world works, dude, you just never know anymore. You really fucking never know anymore. Yeah, so they made billions off of us buying our own tracking devices. Think about this too. Like, we used to talk about how one day the government's going to force everyone to have cameras in their home. Didn't have to do it. We went out and spent billions of dollars doing it ourselves. Fuck, even I got a fucking camera. Most of the time it stays outside, but you know what? You can see me walking around right now. I can see the blue light on it right now. So, it's inside occasionally whenever I'm gone. And, I had Jackie home. If I'd go to work or something, I put it inside, but then I'd try to remember to unplug it as soon as I came in. Now, your phones. For iPhone users, I don't think any of y'all ever had the option to take the battery out. But Galaxy, Android users, we used to have that option. The last phone that gave us that option, I believe, I'm pretty sure it was S5. Maybe the 6, I don't know. I went from like the 5 to like the 8. Because I tried it, I don't know. I just try to buy one and stick with it as long as I can. But I used to like that option because then I could get a bigger battery, an aftermarket battery, and put it in. It would last all fucking day instead of this bullshit of, running out of you halfway through the fucking day or sooner. So, anyhow, they got rid of that option. You know why they got rid of that option? Because if you take the fucking battery out, they can't spy on you. But with the battery in, you can turn your shit off, and it will constantly still keep monitoring you. So, this kind of stuff, I've been talking about this since at least 2004. I've been talking about things like this mostly to myself, because then I might have talked to you really about it. But mostly, it was to myself. But I've touched upon this stuff in some of my past videos that I've done. It was because of History Channel. Back when History Channel actually used to be worth a fuck, and they actually taught you cool things and had nothing but documentaries 24 hours a fucking day. I spent a few years watching nothing but the History Channel from like 03 to like 05 or so, maybe 06. I kept watching just a shit ton of documentaries. That was the only television I watched. Because my apartment I lived in before that for a year and a half to 2.5 years, somewhere in that range, I didn't have cable at all, so we didn't really watch TV. Every time we had parties, we played cards and shit like that. But we just never really had TV. So, there was not anything I was missing at the time, so I just started watching History Channel. And I watched the thing about secret societies, and that was when I first learned about the Bilderbergs. And ever since, I have been talking about them, and I've been kind of formulating my own idea as to what's going on in the world myself. And it's an idea that many people would think I'm crazy for, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to believe it. I already know a whole bunch of this shit, and I don't want to believe it, but it's a fucking fact. The Bilderberg members include, like I was saying, presidential candidates, people that own weapons manufacturers, people that own pharmaceutical companies. That's why, there's that so-called opioid crisis. That's because they fucking made it happen to make money. And if anybody, I avoid news at all costs, but I did happen to catch one article about, I don't know if it's Pfizer. I think it was Pfizer. But whoever owns that company, the family that owns it, they were taken to court and being sued for literally creating this opioid painkiller fucking epidemic that's going on in the country. And the judge said, nah, you're good. No liability. And that's it. They're off the fucking hook. Simple as that. Must be fucking nice, huh? How many, even big time drug dealers do you know that get that option. Shit, even Pablo Escobar was killed at some point. They let him, put himself on house arrest for a while, but eventually they fucking took his ass out. El Chapo didn't get such a break. At least, we don't know. Maybe he did, and we just don't know. Because the government, the CIA and the fucking FBI and shit, they've been running drugs for fucking decades. So, to fund their illegal projects. But the reason I want to have a conversation with these people, hold on, before you back to that. So not only do they make trillions of dollars over the past 20 years off of people buying their own tracking devices and as often as possible trying to get the most updated, the best tracking device possible, but they also made those trillions of dollars off of people putting cameras all over their homes. We literally set up a fucking infrastructure for them to monitor us day and night, all the time, and we paid for it and gave them trillions of dollars over 20 years, 25 years, however long, 30 years, literally helping them fucking do it. No, not helping it. We just did it for them. They provided the technology, marketed it in a way where everybody couldn't fucking live without it, and then here we are. There's cameras everywhere. Now, that's just one example. So pretty much the thing that we were afraid of when I was a kid, it came true, and they made trillions of dollars off it. And, they're making billions and billions of dollars a year, so they've hit trillions of dollars off this shit so far. That's just an airplane. They made the oil crisis in the 70s or whenever that was. They made that happen. That's one of the few things that's actually known, is that they caused that to happen. They decided upon it and made it happen. All this cost of everything going up, it's not because the shit really is more expensive or more valuable. It's because they want more money. And, certain companies and certain people might have to pay more, but they fucking own everything, dude. Anything that's worth owning, they own all of it, dude. They own every fucking thing there is to own. Hold on a second. Sorry, it's fucking cold as shit out here. Well, I don't say it's cold as shit, but my nose starts fucking running. When I get outside in the cold, my allergies kick in. I won't fucking stop. So anyhow, but yeah, they own everything. They own all the corporations. They own BlackRock. Like, BlackRock isn't in charge. They own it. It's their invention. So they own pretty much everything. So the cost of everything going up is because that's what they want to happen. Now, if you look at things, if you've been looking at things yourself here lately, over the last 10 years or so, I hate the fucking term that is being used. I think it's a really stupid ass, lame fucking term, but shrinkflation. I've been noticing for years now that everything is getting less and less. Everything's getting smaller. So like many products, non-food related, if you notice, they cost more and more, and they spend, so check this out. You could buy a TV now where I have a TV from 2009. That thing still works fucking perfect. But I have a feeling the other TVs, I went through 2 other TVs that were from several years after that. Already went through them and had to buy more. So it's like they spend less and less money on the products. They spend less and less money on the materials to make the products. They are purposely designed to last a fraction of the time they used to, and they cost fucking more. What the fuck is that shit, man? But they do it, and everybody keeps buying shit, myself included. Now I try to somewhat limit on, things I'm buying, but I still buy shit too. Now when it comes to food items, I was looking at this the other day. I was looking at a box of club crackers, and they have one that's got, instead of 3 long sleeves, they have 6 smaller sleeves. 3 on top, 3 on the bottom. Well, I have a brand new box of with just 3 sleeves. I might have to double check and see. I don't think they're filled at the top either. But the ones are the individual ones, They could fit 30 more crackers in that box that would fit, but they don't. They're missing 30 fucking crackers out of that box, and it costs more than it used to. And then, as you're going through the box and you're looking at them, quite a few of them are like, we're talking like, about that much smaller than the rest of them. And more keep getting smaller and smaller. And the price of it keeps going up. So these corporations are fucking us on like 4 or 5 different fronts all at the same time. You know, it's bad enough to like do any one of these things, but I can understand one. You know, pick one of these things and stick with that. But to hit us on every fucking front you possibly can, all the while taking more tax money from us. I mean, they print fucking money whenever they want it. So why do they have to keep fucking us on our taxes and taking more and more? Sales taxes keep going up. You know, I mean, they're probably hitting us on like anywhere from 4 to 7 fronts all at the same time. My guess is because they want us to be wholly dependent upon them. This whole COVID bullshit that happened, I don't know. I refuse to get my shots. I never got that shit, dude. Fuck that. I don't even get flu shots. I damn sure ain't going to get no untested fucking vaccine for some horse shit that they fucking decided to invent and spread around the world. They got everybody now. When you hear Hancock talking about how the archaeologists attack him and have been attacking him for 30 years, he's not the only one. Dude, they got everybody. Oh, sorry, not everybody. They have many people who are like that now. They have, dude, when the COVID shit started, I started asking questions online. I started asking questions to people I know. And dude, the fucking kickback from just asking fucking questions is unfucking real. And I'm not even anybody important. I'm just a fucking nobody. And people got pissed off at me for asking questions. I'm like, dude, do you not realize that's what the fuck we are supposed to do? We are supposed to ask questions of the government. We're supposed to ask questions of these so-called scientists and so-called experts, whoever the fuck they are. You know, I mean, people during the COVID shit, I'm like, you know, started asking questions like, who the fuck are you to ask questions? I'm like, well, I'm trying to be a responsible adult like you are supposed to be. But anyways, who the fuck are you to ask questions? The scientists know what they're talking about. Who the fuck are these so-called scientists? Does anybody know any names? Do you know where they got their credentials? Do you even know if there even any fucking are any scientists? Or do you have any idea whether or not we're just being spoon-fed whatever the fuck they want us to hear? Maybe there are no fucking scientists behind it, you know? Maybe when you hear, oh, scientists prove the blah, 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 maybe it's just a bunch of fucking bullshit that they were told to tell us. So this gets me around to Hancock and some of the other guys like Corsetti and Ben Kerkwyk. These guys are getting these attacks because I'm convinced that the so-called archaeologists have been told to shut people down by the Bilderbergs or, you know, through a chain of cronies stemming from them to shut that shit down and do everything in their power to shut it all down and get as many people as possible to not even bother listening to it, which is why they will refer to Hancock as a racist and all this stupid shit, because, you know, if anybody ever listened to him, they know clearly he's not. But it's funny because they say, oh, he's trying to steal these ideas away from the original inhabitants of places and give credit to white European settlers. I'm like, well, first off, no, he's not. And second of all, actually, the archaeologists, that's the motherfuckers that are doing that. It is extremely hypocritical because they're doing the exact same thing that they're talking shit about him for, but people still trust these fucking so-called archaeologists. Like, I don't fucking trust any expert, dude, to be honest with you. Fuck, to be honest with you, I don't even trust people as a fucking whole. You know? Generally speaking, I don't really trust anyone unless they give me a reason to fucking trust them. You know, I kind of start out with, you know, having hopes for people, but, you know, I kind of reserve my judgment on that until I see how people are. But people just fucking bombarding me. Nah, sorry, that's not right, but just people when I talk about it, like online or asking people, like people just fucking coming at me like I'm a fucking scumbag for daring to question the experts and the scientists and the government that all know what they're doing. Well, no, they do know what they're doing. But they were doing that COVID shit intentionally. Now, does anybody else find it weird that when they first started talking about COVID in February of 2020, maybe in January of 2020, that by like 2 months later, once we had tests and the first cases popped up in America, that next thing you know, they were all over the fucking country, every county, everywhere. There's multiple cases just in the county I live in, popping up all over the fucking place, dude. Like, it's fucking wild because it was everywhere already. And then I brought up to people the fact that, like, you know, movies have shown us that the fastest way to spread a plague, or, you know, I mean, it wasn't a plague in my opinion. Yes, a lot of people died, but I did the math and it was like 0.00 something percent of the world population. And it was even, I don't remember the exact numbers. I just remember there was a 0.00 in the math. And then some number after that, percentage of the population of America and of the world. And yes, it's unfortunate for all those people, but at the same time, everybody fucking knows they were padding the numbers. Everybody, even people that think that this shit was legitimate, just happened to happen, or that it was made in China and sent to America and all over the world and blah, blah, blah. People that believe that fucking bullshit, even they know the numbers are padded. You know, my grandpa passed away from pneumonia in a nursing home on July 1st. I'm already about to hit my steps for the day. Nice, it's like 2 in the morning right now. He had passed away from pneumonia on July 1st of 2020. And I guarantee you, they listed his death as a COVID death. Guarantee. You know, I'm hearing stories of people coming in for a fucking dying of a gunshot wound, and they're like, oh, COVID death. Because these hospitals would get more money and more funding if they had higher death tolls supposedly due to COVID. So we all know those numbers are padded. But going on just the numbers that they gave us, it's been a while since I had done the math, but it was just like 0.00 something percentage of American population and of the world population that actually died from it. I don't think that constitutes a pandemic or a plague or enough to just shut down the nation or the world, really. Now, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've had it a few times. I'm still here. But getting their fucking bullshit shots, man, thankfully I didn't work for a place that absolutely insisted upon it. Thank God. But my mom did. She had to get it. And her booster. The fuck is that? Oh, it's a piece of garbage blowing across the parking lot. Well, that was a trip, sorry. Just see something dark moving across the parking lot. I thought they were coming for me. So, anyhow. But just asking questions, and I'm just a nobody, and I'm asking questions, and people were fucking freaking out. And I'm like, well, we've seen from movies that the fastest way to spread a plague is through air travel. So, if it was so absolutely adamant that we shut down the fucking entire world for it, which it also makes me wonder, what were they doing when everybody was staying at home? What was going on in the world when everyone's staying at home, glued to the fucking news, watching shit about COVID? Honestly, I didn't watch at all. No news, period, about COVID the entire fucking time. And never affected my life at all. Back a few years ago when those riots were going on in America, I wasn't listening to news. Me and Jackie were out one day doing yard work at my mom's on a Sunday. I'm trying to get home, and I'm like, we're trying to get back home. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's cops all over the place. There's some people out holding up signs, and I was like, I mean, that might give my answer, but I was like, I just don't fucking care. Didn't even bother looking to see what the sign said. And, it took us a little while, but we got home, and during that time, getting home, they were, slowing people down on the highways and so forth, heading towards Chicago and heading other ways. And a lot of the exits, like the exit in Munster, was blocked off, and they just shut it down for a while. Exit in Highland, I think Griffith maybe. So they started shutting down exits from here in Indiana to like heading up towards Chicago. And I don't know, the only thing that it seemed like, I guess the only way it really affected me was it should have made getting home from work take longer. I actually was getting home quicker than normal during that time. So even that, I don't turn the fucking news on, man. I turned off the news like 15 plus years ago. I stopped reading news. I'm not even gonna repeat the fucking story, the last story I read in a newspaper, because it fucking just disgusts me to even be a human being after hearing this fucking story. So I'm not gonna repeat it because it's just something I can't ever fucking forget, unfortunately. But anyhow, this group of people, they're up to all kind of shit. And I'm convinced that they tell the archaeologist people that they have to shut this shit down because they don't want us listening to it. Why? I don't know. That part I don't know. I don't know what the reasons are. I think that they have like way more knowledge about the past than the rest of us do, but that they choose to not let us know. So like whatever was under the paw of the Sphinx, I'm certain at this point somebody's already been down there and took whatever the fuck is down there and took it out of there already. I have a feeling that they know a lot of shit about the past that they don't want us to know. Maybe the world-ending, or not world-ending literally, but major world catastrophes, like world-affecting catastrophes, like asteroid impacts, ice caps melting instantly from asteroid impacts and so forth. Oceans rushing across the continents and raising the sea level 400 feet in a very short amount of time. Things like that. Like, maybe they don't want us to know about that or believe that that's possible. Because, I don't know, maybe something's coming that they know about. Because if you notice that it's not just, Bezos and Elon that have underground structures and rockets to leave the planet if necessary. While they do have those, but the people, these Bilderbergs, they have massive underground bunkers too that can sustain people, a big population, thousands of people for very long periods of time, for years. And the last time I really heard about that, it was like 5 years. Now they probably got it up to 10, 15, 20, I don't know. I have a feeling, I don't know. No, sorry, I'm going to stop on that part. I was going to go a different direction, but I'm going to stop on that for now. But anyways, they have these massive underground bunkers that they can live in if shit hits the fan for real. Like if an asteroid impact hits or something crazy happens, the world just overnight goes into a deep freeze like some day after tomorrow shit, they're covered. As long as they got time to get there. But it makes me wonder, is something coming that they fucking know about and they just don't want to panic people? Because they won't tell us up until, even until the moment it happens, they wouldn't fucking tell us. Because they don't want people going fucking crazy. Plus, they also don't want people to have an opportunity to stock up. If something was coming and we couldn't do anything about it, and say they knew it was 10 years out, 10 years away isn't enough to make people panic. But it will be enough time for people to start stocking up, building their own bunkers, and doing whatever they can to survive. But they don't want that. But at the same time, it's like, it just doesn't make sense. That's why I'm convinced they'll never have a nuclear war. Now, that doesn't mean a nuke might not ever fucking detonate and wipe out a city. But an all-on, like, world-ending nuclear war, I'm convinced it'll never happen. Because as much as these so-called elites try to pretend like they don't need us, they need us more than we need them. That's a fucking fact. They need us to build everything. If the world comes to if we have another major world disaster that really fucks up a lot of the world, you think these super rich motherfuckers are going to go out and start rebuilding roads and buildings and all that shit? Fuck no, they're not. They're going to need us to rebuild the infrastructure. So why would they want to fucking wipe us all out while they're all in their bunkers? Because then they'll be stuck in their bunkers for however long, and all they have left to rule is themselves. And then at that point, like they try to tell us that like Bezos and like the guy that owns Google, or the fuck that is, that these kind of guys like that, and like Bill Gates and so forth, are like the richest people in the world. That is fucking bullshit. I promise you, it's bullshit. The richest people in the world, we will never fucking know who they are because they don't want to be known. If I had more money than anyone else on the fucking planet, and own more shit and have more power than anyone else, you think I want any fucking body knowing who I am? Fuck no, dude. That puts a target on their back, potentially. I mean, probably literally, but you know, it draws attention to them that they don't want, I'm sure. I don't mean a target like for actual attacks, but you never know. There's fucking people out there that might try. But I just say I wouldn't want people to know. You think Bezos and the guy that owns Google, you really think that just in the last 20 years that they got more money than the fucking guys in the Middle East who have been just pumping out trillions upon trillions or quadrillions of gallons of or barrels of fucking oil over the last 100 years? Bullshit, dude. Bullshit. I'm willing to bet Saddam Hussein had more money than those guys do. And given that they're like new first generation rich, how many like families out there have been rich for hundreds of years and have been passing this shit on, passing money down, passing money down, passing money down? And you know, all the old money people are way richer than the new money people. I promise you that, dude. I don't know that the people in the Middle East that own all the oil are the richest people in the world, but they're certainly richer than Bezos and whoever owns Google. But I don't know. I have so much to talk about. It's kind of late. I'm already at 51 minutes. I don't know how long this thing's gonna record for because I'm probably getting somewhat low on space. So anyhow, if any of these guys, Graham Hancock or Ben or Corsetti or Rogan or any of them ever happen to ever see this video, I'd love to sit down and talk to y'all, because I've been kind of going over this shit with myself for 20 years now, and a lot of times you know how many times over the last 20 years I'll just get on a roll. I'll just be talking to myself. I'll be like driving somewhere or be at work working by myself one day, and I'll just get on a fucking roll, man, and by the time I'm done, I'm just like, dude, fuck, I wish I had that recorded. And this one wasn't. The best ones are the ones that I don't really plan out. And I'm always by myself talking, so it's not like, you know, if I'm with somebody else talking about stuff, then I'll get a lot more, probably get a lot of good information out there. But any of those guys, I'd love to sit and talk to you guys. Again, I'm just a fucking nobody, but I got a lot of ideas about things. And I'm one of the few people, I mean, not just nobody left, don't get me wrong, but I'm one of the people that does my own thinking. I don't let the pop culture and social media and all that shit do my thinking for me. I don't fuck with social media. I have Facebook that I never fucking use. I post pictures about space, planets and shit, but I usually do it from my camera reel onto it and don't ever really fuck with it, ever. I have no other social medias at all because I don't want any part of it. I don't use TikTok. I don't fucking use any of this stupid shit. But I got a lot of ideas, and I'd love to talk to these guys about this stuff and about, sit and just have conversations about past lost ancient civilizations, man. Because I could go on about that, like, just, wondering, like, I wonder if we do have a past advanced ancient civilization that was lost, did they also have a past ancient civilization that was also lost? That kind of shit intrigues me. But, I don't know, my whole purpose for making this video is I'm hoping one of these guys will see this and get a hold of me. I guess, I don't know. I don't really want to put my stuff just online for anybody to see, but they can find me on Facebook, send me a message. My name is Eric Talkington, same as on my screen name, for YouTube. And, I don't know, I just got a whole lot of shit I like to talk about, because I got a lot more stuff about this. So anyways, Bilderbergs, you got the people that own the banks, the world's banks, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, and all these old-time rich families, like, they're all members. And they bring in, I think it's like anywhere from 100 to 150 all-the-time members. And then they have, like, I don't know, 100 to 150 people they bring in on an as-needed basis. And God, I don't know, man. It's like I'm convinced that I don't know. It's like I guess I was convinced that Elon was a member, but I'm not. I'll just say I'm not yet convinced that he's not, because it ain't just any old body they're gonna let send rockets to fucking space, man, and dig massive tunnels under major metropolitan fucking areas. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's hard to say, but I'd like to believe he's not. Some of the things I've heard recently kind of makes me think otherwise. And then I've just always assumed Trump is too, because he's a fucking billionaire. I just, as a rule, don't trust billionaires. But it's a good rule to live by. But I don't know. Since he got elected, I heard that he's got Elon in his cabinet, and then he got Robert Kennedy Jr. And it's like, I've listened to some of the stuff from Robert Kennedy Jr., and he seems like he's on our side. And by our side, I mean us blue-collar folks that are, trying to fucking eke an existence out of this fucking place and trying to be happy while we're here. Us non-billionaires. But, I don't know. There's people who own all the banks are members, princes, royalty from all around the world, kings, queens, and shit, all over the world. Like the Queen of England, she was a member. The princes and the new king, I'm certain that at least the king's a member, and try the princes too. Of England, I'm pretty fucking certain that they're all members as well. Tony Blair, the Bushes are absolutely fucking members. The whole fucking family. The Clintons, they're definitely members. Hillary and Bill, they're both fucking members. But it's like, when I was younger, I used to feel it was my duty to vote, and then as I've gotten older and thought more about this and learned more about it, it's like, dude, they only give you 2 Bilderberg members to choose from. And then you get some third party that has no fucking chance, literally has less than a snowball's chance in hell of fucking making it. Just to make it seem like it's fair. But, they usually only give you 2 Bilderberg members to choose from. Now, again, I can't say for sure after I was convinced even during the last term of Trump that he was a member. But now, seeing who he's picking, fuck, dude, I don't know. Maybe he's not. I'd like to think we had at least one billionaire on our side. But, I guess time will tell, huh? So, I didn't vote, because I just assumed him and Kamala are both fucking members. I know Kamala is. I know Biden is. But yeah, there is absolutely a group of people who have been running this world for 70 years now. And now, people think, because see, pretty much we've had a one world government since 1954. People think of it though, like, no we don't. Every country has its own government and they're all doing their own things. No, dude, they're not. Because usually the leaders like Putin, you think he ain't a fucking Bilderberg member? You're out of your mind. Him and fucking the Bushes and Obama, he's a member. The Clintons, like, they probably hang out in these fucking meetings. They're probably sitting there, drinking scotch together and hanging out and laughing about all the shit going on in the world. But pretty much when you have a group of people that's usually not more than 250 people who make decisions on what is going to happen around the world, and then it fucking happens, I mean, to me, that's a fucking government. That is a government that runs the entire fucking world. But they hide it and they make it, they convince people otherwise because they still have governments in each country and, or dictators in every country. So they make it seem as though it's not. But that's the easiest way to hide the fact that there's a one world government is by pretending that there isn't. Even though Kevin Spacey's a sick fuck, the movie The Usual Suspects, I mean, it wasn't like he came up with the fucking line, but his character in the movie The Usual Suspects had a fantastic line, and he said that the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world he doesn't exist. I mean, that should pretty much say it all right there. All you have to do is convince the world. Now, they do actually officially acknowledge their existence. It took them like fucking 40, 50 years to finally admit they even exist. But I think they even have a website. But it's just like very basic general shit like, oh, helping lead the world towards prosperity for all men. And like, fuck you, dude. No, they're not, dude. They're not. But if even they acknowledge their existence, then I think pretty much anybody should be able to look at it and go, well, yeah, at least they're there. And what the fuck are they doing? And why is everything so secret? Because they don't want us to know what's coming, that's why. And whether that be some world-ending catastrophe or just the bullshit that they're pulling. Like the Ukraine war and this war with Israel and Palestine. You think this shit wasn't fucking planned in their meetings? You're fucking crazy. You're crazy to think otherwise. That's why, like, even though I avoid the news at all costs, I still, unfortunately, hear bits and pieces of news. And when I hear things like that, my first thought is, well, they planned that out. They planned that to happen. You know, anything. COVID, they planned it. Everything that's happening, everything, they planned it all. Hold on a second, please. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, the whole thing is a bunch of fucking bullshit. But I don't know, it's like when thinking about it, it's like, do we organize a fight against these people? Or do we find a way to work with them? And I mean, personally, like, you know, not that I got anything against the bloody revolution, but you know, sometimes the devil you know may be better than the one you don't. You know what I mean? Because if you know, just instantly they all just cease to exist, somebody is waiting to take over their spot. Every fucking person that's a member, somebody's waiting to take over. And who knows who those people might be, you know? They might be another Hitler type. And I have a feeling what happened is given that this, you know, it used to be that the super rich constantly fought each other and tried to fuck each other over. But then after World War II came, and they saw how fucking close they came to losing all of it to one fucking crazy fuck over in Europe here, I think that's when they decided that it's in their own best interest to work together. And then they found that by working together, they can make more money than they ever could by working against each other. Just like Rockefeller. You know, he came up with Standard Oil, and it was a monopoly. And that was fought. Teddy Roosevelt? I want to say he was the one that fought that and got Standard Oil broken up. But what's not known to a lot of people is that once Standard Oil was broken up in all these different smaller companies, he was allowed to own stock. Rockefeller was not allowed to own stock in all these different companies. And he ended up making drastically more money after Standard Oil was broken up than he did when it was a monopoly. You know, that's fucked up. That is fucked up, dude. That is very, very fucked up. But see, he was just, the reason he fought it so much, though, is because, you know, he built it from the ground up and made this massive multi-million, probably even billion-dollar industry that he didn't want to see broken up. But he still ended up making way more money afterwards. And, you know, I wonder, too, like, you hear, like, when Rockefeller, before he died, he ended up giving away half his fortune, like, charities and shit like that. Stuff like this. I don't sound like that, but, you know, charities and so forth. God, it makes me wonder. Two reasons. Either one, they're trying to remove the stain from their name that they created themselves. You know, so throughout history they'll be remembered as someone great, or maybe as they near the end of their life they realize how much they fucked up, and maybe they're trying to buy back their soul. Ain't gonna work, but maybe they're trying to buy back their fucking soul, you know? Maybe they're trying to buy it back, because you know these bastards had to sell it. I'm willing to bet there ain't a single Bilderberg member that still has their soul that belongs to them. I'm fucking certain of it, dude. So, I don't know. And what they don't realize, so here's the thing, man. It's like, if I could be a representative of the people and be a member without selling my soul, because I'm not doing that. But, you know, it wouldn't take a shitload to make the general public in the world happy. And what they don't fucking realize, what they fail to realize is that happy workers are productive workers. Happy workers will fucking bend over backwards for you, whereas angry, pissed off, bitter workers are trying to do everything they can to do as little as possible at their jobs. You know? But you make people happy, dude, I got all kind of ideas that they could do that can make this whole world a better place and still make them shitloads of money. You know? But that's neither here nor there, at least right now. But yeah, it's a fucked up world, and it's not getting any better. I think they're trying to bankrupt everybody. Dude, I swear to you, I go to the grocery store, and I will literally out loud as I'm walking through the store, just start talking shit about corporations and about these grocery stores. Like, these rotten motherfuckers are just robbing us fucking blind. Like, $6 for a can of fucking Cheese Whiz? Are you out of your fucking minds? Just saying it out loud, hoping other people will hear it and be like, yeah, this is fucking bullshit. But most people are like, well, as long as I can still buy the shit I want, you know, or at least most of what I wanted, or some of what I want, then, fuck it, who cares? Most people don't really think about it because most people are fucking lemmings or sheep, and they just follow along and do what they're told. They're good little sheep that, you know, attack anyone who dares to ask questions. Like, when the fuck did it become a bad thing to think for yourself and ask fucking questions? Like, that is literally what we are supposed to fucking do, man. We are supposed to think for ourselves. We are supposed to fucking ask as many questions of the government, of the people around the world, and all the shit going on in the world as fucking possible. We are supposed to fucking be asking questions. And for anybody, if anybody out there, if you're one of those people that like starts to attack people, you know, physically, verbally, or however, be it online or in person, if you're one of those people that attacks people for asking questions, then you are part of the fucking problem. I want you to know that you are part of the fucking problem. The people asking questions are not the problem, but we are a problem for the people that run the world. See, when they talk about Hancock, when the SAA wrote the letter to Netflix saying that Hancock and Ancient Apocalypse is the most dangerous show on Netflix, they're right. Now, it's not so much the show itself that's dangerous. You know, what is dangerous to the people running the world is people that think for themselves. People that ask questions. People that don't just believe anything and everything they're fucking spoon-fed with blind faith. So somebody's coming down my block. What the fuck is this? Sorry. Let me start heading closer to the house here. But that is what's dangerous to the people that run the world. And they're afraid that things like the stuff that Hancock talks about and Corsetti and all these other people who believe in what they call the alternative theories of history, they are just terrified that those kind of things are going to get people to start thinking for themselves. I don't know, whoever it is, they're turning around. Sometimes the police come down here, which that's cool with me because it keeps people from hanging out back here late at night. But, you know, they're probably going to wonder what the fuck I'm doing walking around out here in the middle of the night. But, anyhow, that's what's dangerous to the people that run the world. That's why they say that stuff's dangerous, because it's not the show that's dangerous. It's that they're afraid that it's going to get people to start thinking for themselves. That is terrifying to them, because if people start thinking for themselves and not blindly believing everything they're fucking spoon-fed, then they might have a problem. You know, people would have said fuck you when they told us that, you know, we need to stay at home. That might have caused some problems for them. Oh, here's the point I meant about COVID I meant to get to earlier. So in the movies, we all know that from movies, the fastest way to spread a plague or a supposed plague is through air traffic travel. Now, if you notice, why the fuck didn't they shut down the fucking airlines for like a month or two during that time and prevent it from spreading? they really didn't want it to spread, why didn't they just fucking do that? Well, I mean, people might say, well, but, the airlines, we can't have the airlines going out of business and we can't fly around the world. Fucking airlines have been bailed out before plenty of times, just like the fucking banks. They're not going to let that shit go under. We need air traffic travel. We have to have it. Just like they feel we need to have these fucking super large world banks. I don't know about that, but flying around the world, we need to be able to fly around places. But, yeah, so they would just gotten bailed out. They just print some money, bail them out, and then they'd be fine. So it wasn't that they're afraid of. So why did they shut down air traffic travel? Now, I shit you not, when I talked to people about this during this so-called pandemic, I literally had people say to me, well, they're flying at a third capacity. I mean, what the fuck more do you want? Like, you realize that all it takes is one fucking person, right? One person, that's all it takes. You could have just the pilots on an airliner fly to another spot, and if one of them has it, and they get off that plane and walk around, there it goes. That's all you needed. And as quickly as COVID spread, and as easily as it was to spread, that would have been all you needed. So, a third capacity means fucking jack shit. And now, maybe at a third capacity, maybe they won't give it to each other on the airplane, but if anybody gets off in another country, or another state even, I don't know if they were flying to different countries a whole lot during the time, but flying around, they were flying all over America. And I remember September 11th, and it was very eerie to not see a plane in the sky for several days. But I lived in an air, what do they call that shit? In a flight path for 10 years now. And they never slowed down. They're flying over just as regular as often, dude. And I mean, by the time they're flying over me, like especially for the last 8 years, they're so low by the time they're flying past me. I mean, dude, I could probably hit the planes with a pellet gun. That's how fucking low they are. So I see the fucking air traffic travel. Plenty. And they don't. I mean, look, I could seriously take my camera and put it up there and zoom in and probably see the fucking people's faces. At least see their silhouette through the windows. That's how close I am to the planes. They didn't slow down. And for people to actually be dumb enough to go, well, they're flying at a third capacity. I mean, what the fuck, dude? They're doing what they can. Like, okay, sheep, keep on believing whatever the fuck you're told, dumbass, because it's like as soon as I hear that shit, I'm like, well, you clearly don't think for yourself, so there's no point in having a conversation with you because you're an idiot. Oh, it fucking blows my mind. I just can't believe that in this day and age, you have all the knowledge of the world right here in your fingertips, and people are just dumber than fucking ever, man. It blows my fucking mind. How is this even possible? I hope I haven't been covering up the microphone too much. Fuck. It just occurred to me I might have been covering that up some. Anyways, I gotta wrap this shit up. It's getting late. It's Sunday morning now. Early Sunday morning. I gotta work on Monday. So, I gotta wrap this up. But, I don't know. This is just like a little bit of all the things that I got to talk about. So, again, if any of these guys ever happen to see this video, please get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me on, at least on Facebook. Just look up Eric Toggington. You'll see my face on there. Comment in the video, something, because I don't really know how to contact these people, and I really like to sit down and talk to all of them. I mean, even Rogan, dude, like, I could probably sit down and just do like an 8-hour podcast with the guy, because I got so much shit to talk about, dude. I could talk for fucking ever. And then if I just start talking about shit that I like old music and old cars and guns and shit like that, dude, we could talk for fucking 2 days straight. So, anyhow, I don't know. It's like I want to find a way to make a difference, and I don't know how to do that. I'm broke as fuck, and I'm not known by very many people in this world, so I don't know. I'm trying to find some way to get past that, so hopefully I can make some kind of a difference. But, yeah, all this ancient civilization lost. That's why all these people attack y'all and try to shut you down, because that's what they're fucking told to do. Now, it ain't the Bilderberg members going there directly and telling them personally, but they pass it down to a chain of their cronies all the way down until it gets to their bosses or their colleagues. And I'm absolutely convinced that that's what's going on, and that's why they're trying to suppress it, because they know a shitload more. Have you ever guys heard of the President's Book of Secrets? Now, it makes me wonder, though. It really makes me wonder if Trump has seen the Book of Secrets. He was the president. If he is a Bilderberg member, then I would say for sure he's seen it. If he's really not, I don't know. I wonder. Because every president since Washington has been keeping a log and writing down things that they want to pass on to future presidents. And the only fucking person supposedly that sees that, I'm sure the CIA has fucking seen it, probably the FBI too. At least certain members, maybe the people running those organizations. But, the presidents, they know what is in that book. So, who killed Kennedy, whether aliens have been here or not, what's going on in Area 51, all that shit, bro. Trust me, they know about it. They have the answers, and they keep it to themselves. But, sorry, hearing shit. Anyways, I don't know. I'd love to talk to you guys. I don't know if I got any more main points right now to talk about here. I kind of just winged it. See, the best talk is when I just sitting there pissed off about the world or what have you, and I just start rambling on, and it's kind of like an unprepared, unintended talk, and then I just start going off on all this shit, man. Because there's so much more to this, especially the whole Bilderberg thing. So, if any of these guys would like to ever talk to me about this, just sit down and have a conversation. I mean, we just talk on the phone, talk online, whatever, If you guys ever want to talk, please feel free to hit me up because I have a fucking ton to say. And I think I can fill in a lot of those blanks that some of these guys are trying to figure out. So, anyhow, hope anybody else that watches has a blessed day, has a blessed week. Wish you all kind of blessings this week. And, hopefully the sky clears up because I'm getting fucking tired. I spent like 4 or 5 days in a row, nights and mornings with these fucking clouds. And I can't see a whole lot, and it drives me nuts. There's Jupiter and the moon, which is wild, dude, because I took pictures earlier. I'm going to have to take one before I go to bed. Dude, Jupiter was so much further away from the moon than that earlier. It was like twice as far from the moon as it is right now, hours ago. Maybe not twice as far, but it's definitely further away than that. I got a picture of it early in the evening when it went from like there to like over there. When it was like over in that direction. So that shit's cool as fuck, dude. Plus, there's like scientists and shit I want to talk to. Michio Kaku's one guy I like to sit down and talk to, and other people that like scientists that are involved with space. There's so many questions that I have to ask that I never hear anybody asking, dude. There's so many things that I want to just all kind of shit I want to ask somebody and ask these people, especially people who are like certain that they know what they're talking about, And here's one other thing I want to throw out here real quick. For anybody, and because you hear people, the sheep of the world, when they'll go around going, well, it's a scientific fact, and whatever it may be, whatever topic, it's a scientific fact. This is this and that's that. Well, for all those people out there that think that scientific fact means definitive fact, irrefutable fact, they're fucking wrong. All scientific fact means is it's a fact based on our current understanding. That's it. In fact, how many times has something that was considered a scientific fact not only found out to be wrong, but found out the complete opposite is actually the case? People thought Einstein was crazy. People thought Einstein was crazy for suggesting the existence of black holes. It was a scientific fact that black holes just simply did not and could not exist. And now, it's scientific fact that yes, they do exist, and they are actually more prevalent than we thought. In fact, we have the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy, and pretty much every galaxy that makes, that's why our galaxy is spiraling, because of the supermassive black hole. That's why we orbit around orbit around the center, like our star is orbiting around the center of the galaxy because of this black hole. It also was a scientific fact for a very long time that no stars out there had any planets, and that the only star that had planets is our star, and that's it. And now it's scientific fact that every star you see anywhere has at least one planet, if not more. It was scientific fact that the sun revolved around the Earth instead of the Earth around the sun. And I don't know, was it Galileo or I don't know, I didn't brush up on this topic here before I made this video. But I don't know if it's Galileo or somebody had suggested that the Earth went around the sun, and they either imprisoned him or threatened to imprison him unless he retracted his statement. And now it's scientific fact that the Earth revolves around the sun. So, as you can see, scientific fact does not mean definitive, irrefutable fact. It just simply means, based on what we currently understand, that we consider fact based on what we currently understand, because God forbid scientists just say, hey, you know what, we don't fucking know. We don't know. They have to have an answer to everything. And then whatever they come up with as their leading answer to everything is considered scientific fact, unless it's proven otherwise. Because like the whole thing about the planets around the stars, a lot of scientists that deal with space, a lot of people thought that there were, at least for some time, thought that, you know, there were other planets out there, but it couldn't be proved. Well, now it's been proven. So that fact has changed. But even though people believed that it was the case, it was still considered scientific fact that no stars had planets except for our star. So, I don't know. Something to think about. It's some food for thought, because anytime you hear it's a scientific fact, take that shit with not even a grain of salt. Take it with like a big fucking block of salt, because you really never know if that's actually fucking true or not. You know, anytime I hear scientific fact, I just dismiss it as definitive fact, because I already know that it just means based on what people currently understand, or it's scientific fact based on what anyone's allowed to tell us, or what we're allowed to know, you know, because I'm sure there's things out there they know about that they don't want us to know, so they call it a scientific fact because they don't want us to know the truth, for whatever fucking reason, I don't know. But anyhow, y'all have a blessed week. Everybody have great days at work and so forth, and wish you many blessings. Be saying prayers for everybody. I say prayers for fucking everybody every day, because this fucking world can use them. But anyhow, y'all take it easy, and I'll catch y'all later.